Okay, let us start with a prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvisavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect us all. May He be pleased with us all. May all work together with vigor. May our studies make us brilliant. May we pray and meditate together. Let there be no quarrel, no disappointment, no quarrel, no disagreement between us all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I pray to Almighty God. I pray to the saints and sages of all the religions and of all the times. I bow to the lineage of Kriya Yoga masters. I bow to my Gurudev, Paramahamsa Hariharanandaji, and I bow to my Guruji, Paramahamsa Prajnananandaji. During the talk, I will refer to Paramahamsa Hariharanandaji as Gurudev and address Paramahamsa Prajnananandaji as Guruji. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you people are. My name is Bhadrayu Pandya. I was initiated by Gurudev in New York in the year 1978 with my wife Sadhana. Our two children are also initiated into Kriya Yoga. Gurudev made me Yogacharya in the year 1994. Since then, I am initiating and initiating people and teaching Kriya Yoga. What is our biggest fear? Or what is our biggest weakness? It is fear. And where does the fear live? It lives in our mind. What is our biggest strength? It is faith. Both fear and faith, they start with the letter F. Our ancient yogis say that faith is the positive energy that comes from within. The equivalent name for faith is Shraddha. It comes from two Sanskrit words, Srat or Shraddha, which means truth, and Dha means put or place, or where the mind directs oneself towards. So Shraddha blooms when the mind directs itself to the deep-seated truth which arises in the heart. So what is this deep-seated truth? It is the knowledge that I am not body and mind, I am the eternal soul. I live in the body, and this body was born, and one day it will die. But as a soul, I'll live forever for eternity. I am Sat Chit Ananda. I am immortal, I am pure, infinite consciousness, and I am joy and bliss. That is what I am. That is the truth. That is the knowledge. So when we direct our mind towards this knowledge and truth, then our faith starts increasing. And when we reach the highest state of realization, then our faith becomes the strongest. Several centuries ago, there was a severe famine which swept through the valley of Himalaya. Father knew that he and his son, they will not survive because there was no food left. So father filled some bags with ashes, tied them with the rope, and hung them from the ceiling. And he told the children that there is plenty of food in these bags, but we have to store them for the future. Father died of hunger, but the children survived until some people came and rescued them. Now, children were much weaker than their father, but they survived because they had a belief. They believed that there is food in the bags. Father died because he lost hope. So the question is where the faith of the children came from. We can say that faith came from faith came because they believed in their father. They believed in the words of the father. They took the words of the father to their heart, which transformed into faith. Children lived on the basis of that faith. The faith of the children did not come from their mind. Mind is the doubting faculty in each individual. In day-to-day living, when we use our ordinary mind, we live with lots of doubts. Two other companions of doubts are fear and confusion. Two other natural qualities of mind. Guruji says that mind creates confusion, mind loves confusion, and mind lives in confusion. So, how can we become free from this doubt, confusion, and fear? When our trust increases, when our faith increases. When there is faith, there is no doubt, there is strength. When there is doubt, there is confusion, which makes us weak, and we have fear and anxiety. And we become unhappy in our life. So, fear and faith, they cannot exist together. So when we increase our faith, the fear will disappear. So now question comes, how to cultivate the faith? There are several ways: prayers, systematic and regular practice of meditation, reading biographies of great spiritual masters, attending classes and satsang, serving spiritual masters, living a conscious life, observing the mind, observe what kind of thoughts are coming in the mind. and doing self-analysis. Now, Patanjali also recommends meditation and japa or chanting, which will help us to overcome our doubts. And we acquire enduring trust and faith in the presence of infinite within us when our faith increases. Now, Patanjali, while talking about 8 limbs of yoga, the very first limb is yama. He says, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, yamaha. So he says that brahmacharya, that means practicing celibacy. When a person practices celibacy, he gets vigor and energy. Doubt and lack of faith, they are 2 weaknesses. But when a person practices celibacy, he gains confidence, he gains faith. One becomes firm and self-confident. So now those who have experimented in the field of spirituality with humility, love, prayer, meditation, they have experienced what truth really is. The truth that I am not body, I am the eternal soul, I live forever. So when person progresses on spiritual path through the practice of meditation, prayer, conscious living, one starts becoming less fearful. And when one reaches the highest level of spirituality, he becomes completely fearless. So those who have experienced this highest truth, those who have reached the state of self-realization, they are the most fearless and strongest people as a result of what they have realized. So Sage Vyasadeva says that before we reach our final destination, faith gives a seeker energy, courage, and strength. With the help of these 3, the faith itself is strengthened, and we take an important step forward on the spiritual path. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, by having faith in the fundamental aims of yoga, a faithful person obtains knowledge, but a person without faith whose mind is overwhelmed by doubts, he does not find peace. He does not obtain knowledge, and he comes to nothing. So, from this discussion, it should be very, very clear to all of us that in order to become free from the clutches of mind, in order to become free from our negative qualities and from our bad habits, including fear, confusion, and doubt, and to cultivate faith, it is absolutely necessary to pray and meditate every day. But why, knowing that in order to become happy, we should pray and meditate every day? Still, why Many people procrastinate, they put off meditation week after week, month after month, year after year. Why it is so? Why people put off meditation? Paramahamsa Yoganandaji says that in his childhood, he wasted a lot of time in this manner. He was meditating regularly every day, but he resolved to meditate much longer every day. But he kept putting off meditating longer until one day he realized that 1 year has passed like this. So Yoganandaji says that first thing comes first. After we are awakened in the morning, we should sit down, sit down and meditate. Otherwise, he says, the whole world will crowd in to claim us and we will forget God. At night, before we sleep, we should meditate. Otherwise, sleep sleep will claim us. Yoganandaji says that he is so strongly established in the habit of meditating every day that even while he goes to bed at night to sleep, he finds himself meditating. He says he cannot sleep in the ordinary way. The habit of being with God comes first with him. So now, coming back to the question, why do people procrastinate? Why they don't meditate every day? There are 3 reasons I can think of. One is that people, when they start on spiritual path, they start with lots of expectations. They think that spiritual path is easy and they will quickly be able to go deeper into meditation. So they are not able to manage their expectations very well. Second thing, in order to meditate every day, one should have divine, dynamic willpower. And many people do not have this willpower to meditate every day. And the third reason is that it is quite difficult to meditate every day if one does not have strong desire for God. So now let us understand these 3 things in a little more detail. Most people think that spiritual path is easy. They expect to control their mind quickly and become enlightened. However, controlling the mind is not an easy job. We have developed many bad habits, many negative qualities like fear, confusion, doubt, over the period of many lifetimes, and allowed our mind to do as it pleases. Now, after a few weeks, or few months, or few years, people complain that they are trying to meditate every day, they are disciplining themselves, still mind is not becoming peaceful and calm. So first, one has to very clearly understand that if it took many lifetimes to develop all these bad habits and negative qualities, we cannot become free from them very quickly. So one has to develop patience and perseverance. One has to learn how to manage his expectations. Some of you might know the story of Sabri. She was a tribal lady, she was getting married, and people were slaughtering animals to prepare the feast. When she saw that, she could not bear it, and she ran away. she stayed in the hermitage with one sage and she started serving him. After a few years, when time came for the sage to leave his body, he told her that one day Lord Rama will come in person and he will see you. So Sabri, in the hope of that Rama will come, she started cleaning the hermitage, sweeping the floor. She was also cleaning the passage leading to the hermitage, preparing food for Rama. And like this, she was doing week after week, year after year. And many, many years passed, she became an old lady, but still she did not leave the hope. And then when she became very old, she kept, even at that stage, she kept cleaning the hermitage. She prepared the food. She kept cleaning the passage leading to the ashram or the hermitage. And then finally, Lord Rama came in person and he taught her the path of love and devotion. So if you think about Sabri, how much patience she had. So similarly, in order to progress on spiritual path, we have to develop lots of patience. Second thing, Paramahamsa Yoganandaji says that the exercise of the divine dynamic willpower is absolutely essential to develop the discipline to meditate every day. Now, Yoganandaji says that our will becomes divine when we use our willpower to do something good, something divine. And he says that when we decide to accomplish some goal and we do not give up, even after failing many, many times, then our willpower becomes dynamic. So he says this divine dynamic willpower is absolutely necessary to meditate every day. He says the bad habits destroy the supreme gift of God, which is willpower, by which we can work out our own salvation. He says that many of us have allowed our willpower to be paralyzed by bad habits. Many of us indulge in them every day. Smoking, drinking alcohol, drugs, angry speech, hatred, jealousy, resentment, greed, indulging in excessive sex, etc. and etc. So once they are established, they are very difficult to conquer. See, in the olden time, there was gramophone. Record will rotate in the gramophone, and the pin on the gramophone, through the friction, it will create a beautiful melodious music. But if there is a groove in the record, the pin will get stuck in it. It will not play a beautiful music, but we will hear a very annoying, unpleasant sound. Similarly, we have created many grooves or bad habits and negative qualities in our mind. And the pin of our willpower is stuck in this groove of bad habits. So we should remove these grooves of bad habits with conscious and constant effort so that the pin of the willpower can play a beautiful music of life. Now the third. In order to become free from fear and develop that faith or reach the highest state of happiness, one has to have a strong desire for God. Adi Shankaracharya says that one of the three rare things is the intense desire for God. Lahiri Mahasaya says that one should stay in the physical company of godless masters once or twice a year. If that is not possible, then we should keep a company of the godless masters through video conferencing, listening to his talk through internet, or even keep a mental company of the godless masters, to think about them, to keep love and devotion towards them. We should also keep the company of godless masters through their writings, because they are so powerful that even through their writings, they send positive spiritual energy. And we all know that autobiography of Yogi written by Paramahamsa Yoganandaji that inspired millions of people, and many people learned Kriya Yoga after reading that book. So we should remain in the company of godless masters. Gurudev says that moment's company of godless master can transform our life. So without the intense desire for God, it is very hard to meditate every day. So prayer, sincere and regular meditation, and devotion to God and masters will bring the grace of God and masters on us. And they will kindle the intense desire for God in us. So we should pray. Let us pray from the core of our heart. Oh God, oh Gurus, I will try to meditate sincerely every day. And I will keep trying to meditate every day until my last breath, whether I seem to be making any spiritual progress or not. So please give me inner strength. Please give me courage. Give me self confidence. Give me willpower to meditate every day. Help me to become free from all my bad habits and negative qualities. Help me develop willpower. Be with me. I want to be with you day and night, every second, every moment. I want your I want your company. So if we pray from the core of our heart, Guruji says that if person prays from the core of the heart, we will most assuredly get the results. Many times what happens that this doubtful and impatient mind cannot believe, or it cannot accept that the prayers can really work. So in the beginning period of spiritual life, it is a little bit difficult to meditate every day. We have to struggle. But we know that if we exercise the muscles of our body regularly, then muscles become stronger. Similarly, we have to exercise the muscles of our energy to meditate every day, which in turn will make our energy stronger, and we will meditate every day. And when we meditate every day, we will have personal spiritual experiences which will make our faith stronger. It will inspire us to meditate more. And when we do this, we'll be well on our way to realize the supreme goal. Eventually, everybody is going to reach the highest state of happiness. The question is, when? Gurudev says that your destiny is in your hands. So, according to the masters, if you make strong efforts, it is possible to attain the highest state of happiness or to attain that supreme um, goal of realization in 1 to 3 lifetimes. But if you do not make any effort, or if you make very less effort, then eternity is long enough to suffer. God has given us free will, so it is up to us how to use that will. Guruji says that biggest obstacle on our spiritual path is our mind. Because all these bad habits, negative qualities like fear, anger, doubts, confusion, they are all in the mind. So we have to control the mind. But it is not easy to control the mind. He says that the problem of controlling the mind existed long time ago. Even 5,000 years ago, in the time of Mahabharata, Arjun had problem controlling his mind. So, problem of controlling the mind was there in the past. It is there currently right now, and it will continue to be the problem even in the future. So he says that those people who are intelligent, who are practical, patient, sincere, they will be able to control the mind. Once the mind is controlled, all the problems of life will go away. You know, in Mundaka Upanishad, there is a story of two birds. Some of you might know that. But there were two birds living on the same tree, one on the lower branch, another one on the higher branch, or top branch. The bird in the lower branch was busy eating the fruits of the tree, but when he occasionally tasted bitter fruit, he looked around and then he looked up and he saw the second bird was not interested in eating the fruit of the tree. He was content in itself, looking majestic. So naturally, he gets attracted towards the second bird and he hops on the higher branch. But out of habit, again he starts eating the fruit. When he again occasionally tastes the bitter fruit, he looks up, sees the self-contentment of the second bird. Again he hops on the higher branch. And this way, finally, finally he reaches that same branch as the second bird, and the vision changes. He sees that all along he was the second bird, but because he was busy eating the fruits of the tree, this duality existed. So, similarly, we are also busy indulging in the sense pleasures of the world. And like the first bird, when we taste a bitter fruit in the form of suffering and unhappiness, we begin the search within. And then we get a glimpse of God, we feel some joy and happiness. But old habits die hard. So we again plunge into sense pleasures. Like this, after repeated blow from the world in the form of suffering and unhappiness, we finally become serious about our spiritual growth and undertake our practice wholeheartedly. So this is the human nature. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very alert. We have to keep watching our mind, observing our thoughts, and do the self-analysis. Otherwise, everything in this life tempts us away from God. The Maya is very powerful. Thank you all for listening to this talk. Now let us do uh, meditation for about 15 minutes. it will be a general meditation, not Kriya Yoga meditation. So please close your eyes, sit straight, and concentrate between the two eyebrows about 7 to 9 centimeters inside, or 3 to 4 inches inside the head, near the soul. Be very alert. Do not allow any thoughts in your mind. If a thought comes, just observe your thought. It will pass by. But do not entertain your thought. Continuous concentration in the soul center inside the head. Normal breathing. Just observe the breath. Concentrating in the soul center. Keep little attention in the breath. Breath is going in, breath is coming out. Just observe the breath with love. Be very alert. Continuous attention in the soul center. Just little attention in the breath. Now take slow, long, deep inhalation. Hold the breath. Holding the breath, bend forward as much as you can. And then exhale. Normal breathing, but our concentration is between the two eyebrows near the soul center. Concentrating in the soul center, breathing normally, keep observing the breath. Take slow, long, deep inhalation. Hold your breath. Slowly sit up. Exhale. Normal breathing. Concentration in the soul center. Little attention in the breath. Be very alert. Now take slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring peace within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Love. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring peace within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Spread love around you. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring peace within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Love around you and within you. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring peace within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Love. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Peace. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Love. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring pure love within you. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Peace around you. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring love within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Peace around you. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring love within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Peace around you. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring love within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Peace around you. Slow, long, deep inhalation. Bring love within. Slow, long, deep exhalation. Peace around you. Now, normal breathing. Concentrate between the two eyebrows. 3 to 4 inches inside your head, or 7 to 9 centimeters in the soul center. God is there, our soul is there. There is extreme silence inside our head. Remain in that silence. Listen to that silence. Feel that peace and calmness. Concentrating there, meditate for a few minutes. Open your eyes. Normal breathing, but observe your breath. Feel that peace and calmness. Enjoy the higher level of consciousness. Let us conclude with the prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhaga bhavet. May everybody be happy and healthy. May everybody see the auspicious sight. May no one share into unhappiness. Everybody be happy. Om. Amen. May God and Gurus bless you all. Thank you very much for listening to the talk and attending the guided meditation. Jai Guru. I bow to you all.